This is this is going to be such a good episode. Man, it was such a good. I had so much fun watching this. It really was just the best.
It was kind of fun. It's still like there's some like just parts that are like the only way I can describe it is like it feels like icky. Like some parts I'm just like, oh God, stop. But like it's just
it's what we're here for. But let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Yeah.
First off, what's really good, pot stars? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. In today's episode, cheater's gonna cheat. Blue keeps bluesing, and Nurys is tired of everyone playing in her face as though the outcome was foreseeable and a direct consequence of her own planned out, executed actions. But first, just starting off, it came to my attention yesterday that we are actually seeing a huge influx of first-time listeners. And it got me thinking, maybe some of these newer people need to know a little bit more about us. So just a little bit about, we do talk about the challenge. Some people are actually interested in us a little bit. Anyway, my name is Malik from New York. I have a job. Also, come find out that my dog is absolutely in love with me. And I love my dog too. So this is Dylan. Dylan will be podcasting with us from now on. I also have 2 cats, and those little fur demons are never joining because they don't know how to act. But this is Dylan. He's mad chill. We'll just be chilling. How you doing, boy? You good? Nothing excites him except for snacks. But that's me. I'm married, got a whole bunch of kids, and a pretty decent job. So
also, Malik is he's more than just that too. Granted, he's a little bit older and wiser now, but if you go back to when the pod first started, if you said something to this guy, man, this guy he's a tough guy. He's tough. That's all I can say. Like legitimately, I'm not calling you like a tough guy sarcastically, but about me, I live in the middle of almost nowhere. I live in the middle of the United States, near the geographical center of the United States. Yeah. I live in South Dakota. Big Challenge fan, been watching since I was a teenager. I work for the news. I cover media and everything. I used to work with the company that the Challenge works with, but no longer with that company. Still in the same job I have and everything, but just company switched and everything. I also coach high school soccer, avid reality TV guy, and I got a wife and multiple kids as well. So yeah.
Look at us out there procreating.
Yeah. And I've been known at times to kind of be like an encyclopedia of the challenge. So.
Exactly. You're the straight man and I'm color commentary.
I thought you were going to say something else, but yeah, that works.
All right, let's go ahead and kick it off. First things up is many relationships have started to propagate in the challenge house despite having significant others. Last week, we talked about Corey and Izzy. This week, we're talking about Anna Leigh and Leo. Now, Anna Leigh is caught on tape telling Leo that she's so horny. She loves him long time. After the episode airs, Anna Leigh releases a statement taking accountability for her inappropriate conduct, only to have Lady hop in and say she found him in the bathroom 2 days later after this incident.
Boy.
So far, Anna Leigh's husband didn't say anything. Even Cara jumped in, was just like, ooh, even I didn't know it was this bad. It's reality TV. It's the challenge. We love the drama. I just want to hear your take, and I need you to go first because
sure. Can we just start with like the one that's kind of like weird, or not weird, but of course Cara has no idea what's going on around her. It seems very common that she's like, what do you mean other people live here and are doing other things
so fucking oblivious
to everything? And she always has it. It's kind of funny that she felt like her saying that is just funnier. The fact that she could have just like not said it and we could have assumed she had no idea something else is going down. And then Letty kind of jumping on in. I mean, it's interesting to see these dynamics. It's also from an aspect of like Leo, like of continuing to kind of push and like compliment and talk and everything, instigating and everything. It can lead down these paths. Cause I feel like if people didn't approach somebody else, more than likely we wouldn't have these situations on the challenge. But it takes 2 people. It takes somebody to approach and somebody to accept that approach. I'm not justifying anybody saying one was worse or whatever, but there's also people on both sides of it that it just seems very odd to almost the point where we have, Josh and Adrian seem the most normal out of all the couples that we have here. Yeah, I mean, this stuff's going to come back to bite you. It will. There's cameras everywhere. They catch everything, even when you think you don't. I mean, go back in time, season 26, X's 2, and Leroy and Nia are together. And everybody's like, wait a second, they didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden they show us footage from Free Agents that they didn't show us. They coming out of it's like, they see everything, guys. They catch everything because you never know when they want an X's season in the future. So they're going to catch everything just for that reason. That's why I think they catch it, is just in case they want to have an exit season and they go, well, we got to have something that shows that they held hands, you know?
Yes. I think Nia hopped out and said she gave him a world-class BJ. And I always remember that being super fucking funny, how candid she was with that. Nia has really, really grown on me. Now, before I comment on here, I do want to say that, like, I understand that we're talking about real people here.
Yes.
That we're talking about real marriage and real feelings here. So before, so I want to make sure I approach that in the correct way. And I'm going to do that by preparing myself. 1 minute.
It almost feels like he is going to do the opposite as soon as he starts talking. Like it's... Yeah.
No. Oh, go ahead. Just
I was going to say historically, if anybody wants to, be level-headed and get something off their chest and make sure they say it in the most politically correct way, putting down some fantasy is normally the way to go to put this done. Oh man, Vacation Malik, man.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it makes it worse that Leo's
I think as the expert on this podcast, you should comment on that.
Yo, this is absolutely wild. First off, the funniest thing is, okay, she took accountability. Fucking least you can do, ma'am. Yo, what makes this so bad is that so she says she's talked about it with her husband. As soon as it happened, they talked through it and they were prepared. No matter what y'all talked about, after seeing this episode, y'all gonna need another conversation. Because, oh my God, your wife is here on Paramount Plus, on TV, being so thirsty. Has to be absolutely, I don't know anything about Anna Leigh's husband. I feel terrible for him. She wanted it so, and that's what it is too. That's really what, we've seen cheating and people do. She wanted it so freaking bad. And guys, this is episode 4. You guys only been there for a couple of weeks.
It felt like at that moment, if Leo made a move,
it was a wrap.
Yeah. That her comment, I think, is not as negative if it's said to like Letty or like Cara. If she just says that in general and it's like, I haven't been away from my husband this long, like that context solves everything. Even if she says the exact same thing, you know what I mean? But it's the fact that she's saying it in a little group or an individual conversation to one other person, another man. It amplifies it.
It hurt. And I think this is why people are just running wild from it. Just seeing that take place, her wanting it so bad, being for the fact it's only been a couple of weeks, that has to be so incredibly painful for the husband to watch. And I get it that they're still married now. I really don't know. I don't know how you can forgive something like this. She's pretty much begging for it.
We'll know a lot more.
Begging for it.
We'll know a lot more that once the episode aired and they had their new conversation and visually seeing it at the reunion. That's going to be a topic. It's going to be a topic.
It's Wednesday. He is already packed.
I'm just saying,
already
potentially packed. It depends on it. If I know, like Letty said something, but if nothing else happened or came from that, like I could see it just being like a moment of forgiveness for. Yeah, I could see it. I'm just saying. So,
would you forgive this?
If nothing happened, probably. If nothing, yeah.
Do you believe that during the course of the season, nothing happened?
It's so hard because these guys are isolated for such a long time. They don't have social media. They don't have their phones. They don't have emails. Like, they get a call back to home probably like once a week or something like that. It is so believable because, we used to like always get on Tony about this. And it's like, dude, Tony, you're just if you ever get that thought, go to the gym. Just go straight to the gym. Just go grab bananas and drink some raw eggs and then go straight to the gym. Like, and then yeah.
So you don't think what you saw was just as bad as cheating? This is just as bad. And the fact that, and
I don't think it's a good look. It's not a good look.
The fact that she didn't even get it is kind of embarrassing.
Wow.
It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah. It's such a bad look. And man, and I feel bad for the husband, but he has nothing to do with this. He's not on reality TV. Anna Leigh is, which means you open your whole entire life to criticism from everybody else. And Jesus, this is just as bad as it comes. And just the fact that you wanted it so bad, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Here's the problem with editing too, is that we do not know when this is. This doesn't have to be, right after the 4th daily. This could be midway through the season.
She already talked about that. She already just said like, oh, they didn't put in the part where I was like, right afterwards, I was super apologetic and I was saying, oh, I'm sorry that I put you in this position. I shouldn't be talking like that when I have a husband. She said that she said all of this right then and there. And ma'am, no one gives a fuck.
Paramount doesn't care about that, dude.
No one cares. We got what we came here for. No one cares. You can't backpedal your emotional cheating. Oh.
We're going to have to see if anything develops, and we'll just have to go forward. It is weird that Leo's still talking about her in a certain way if, like, she shut it down. So we're going to have to see how this develops.
Let's move. How it develops.
It does look like, contrary to popular belief, Corey is a little more reserved towards Izzy.
It does seem that way.
And I mean, here's the thing though. The problem is like, in his mind, he thinks like, I'm just having conversation. But the problem is he's always having like individual conversation. It's never like me, Izzy, and Nelson, it's always just those, or me, Izzy, and Adrian. And so it still does look bad for him too.
It still looks terrible, but one, we also kind of expect it from him. And it does seem like there's some mutual attraction and they're both kind of holding out because of a certain situation.
It seems more respectable than the conversation we saw between the other two we just spoke about.
100%.
They're not talking about like that stuff.
Well, you know what? I think you're 100% right. I think it's just the level of disrespect that we're seeing happening between these two is just, the worst. The worst. All right, that's it. And that's amazing. I didn't hear that shit's kicking in. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about Cara. So, Team Blue keeps on bluesing. In our first episode this season, we specifically said that for Blue to have a chance, Nelly and Cara will have to step up as leaders. This has not happened. In this episode, Josh approaches Cara and straight up asks if she really wants to be here. Cara retorts that she's, going through some things.
She went in self-defense mode immediately.
100%. And to be honest, I didn't really buy it. I think people are seeing that Cara is performing really, really badly, that she doesn't really seem to care. And for the first time, not for the first time, but in a very rare occasion, Cara seems pretty protected at this point. So when it comes to Josh, I don't know much about him, but I'm pretty sure he's a fucking asshole. But do you think this is fair or foul? I think he's okay with where he's at.
I think what should have happened is they should have had a conversation saying, like, it should have been, Cara, you need to nominate yourself. Like, and it should have been right then. It should have just been like, hey, is everything okay? Like that, like, are you okay? Like, are you mentally here and everything? You got stuff going on? Like, you don't seem like the same you that I've seen on TV. That right there can just open up a dialogue that is, what is bothering you that I need to understand better so that way I'm not thinking a certain way about you. And Cara should be receptive to that and then explain everything she did in defense mode in a conversation. And it should, if Josh is I don't know how old he is, if his brain is developed yet, but if he's old enough and he could be 23, 24, I don't know. But if he's old enough and understands that conversation, then he can go, okay, she has all this stuff going on that I don't understand in my early 20s because I don't have problems in my early 20s. And then he can relate to her there. And then they can have the conversation next day is, Cara, I know you don't want to, but we need to stay strong. And you're the strongest girl on our team, and especially in eliminations. I think you need to nominate and knock somebody else on the other team so we can get going. Like, and that's how the conversation should have been. And when they got down there and especially elimination, we'll talk about it later, but when they saw that it looked like you had to rip stuff out of the wall, Cara, they instantly should have told Cara, you need to nominate right now because you can pull these out faster than Nurys, who we know is going in. Granted, it didn't end up mattering, but like that's how the conversation should have been. Cara is very protected. I think from not even just all vets, but from, I mean, Will and Izzy didn't even want to put her in, like they could have, and they didn't even want to. And I think all the people that she played with who were rookies last season respect her because of what she was going through when she had to leave. And I think they understand that. And so they have empathy. Outside of Bananas, I think every vet and every person she played with last season are going to look out for her.
100%. I don't think Josh is in the wrong here. Josh is a rookie. He's competitive. He wants to win. And the person who should be the fucking guiding light on your team is not showing up. Everything he said was 100% true. And I'm really glad that CT was really able to validate him. Because even though, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's a jerk, he's not wrong here. And here goes the funny thing is, it's not like Cara can't be a leader. We've seen her do it. We've seen her lead alliances. And we've seen her, and don't get me wrong, when she has her back to the wall and has to fight her way out of a corner, this is when we get the best performances from her. But she needs to recognize the hierarchy of the team, needs to organize this blue team, and needs to get something going. Nelly should be able to do it too, but leadership also isn't really Nelly's strong suit. From the lack of leadership is breaking Team Blue apart, and she doesn't really even seem interested in really putting it back together. They're already running around themselves, calling themselves Bluesers, and that's taking an effect on the game.
Here's the big thing too, is like, this isn't the first time that we've seen this daily. It happened on Bloodlines as well. Once they broke into the two teams, and on those teams at that point in the game, I believe there was like 7 or 8 people per team. On those teams, only 2 people on each team got to complete it. And it was Bananas and Abram, who were stuck underwater together. And then Abram's brother, as well as Cara's cousin, Jamie, on the other team. That's funny 4 people out of like 16. Yeah.
Funny you bring up Bloodlines when we were talking about cheating. That's fucking hilarious.
But my point is that Cara failed at that one. And Nelson would have failed at it too. The problem with Blue Team is that they got this daily was set up to like for them to fail. Like this was not Blue is yet to have a daily that is like okay, we got to put this thing on our back and we got to run 5 miles and then we got to solve this puzzle. Which I think Blue, if you take like Cara and Nelson out of the puzzle, but everything else about that, I think Blue excels. And we'll see faults in the other teams because there will be 1 or 2 people that can't keep up. But like going underwater, like that is Cara and Nelson. Like that's their biggest weakness.
100%.
So it was just really bad timing.
It really was. Before we get moving on into the daily, let's talk about Leo. Now, Leo, as the captain of the second place grade team, finds herself in a position of power. Still feeling very burnt about facing elimination last week, which he did not go in. He has no love for the Chris Sydney alliances and everyone else trying to curry favor. Despite how everything played out today, do you think Leo should put his revenge to the side instead of getting revenge if it could help the team?
Go ahead.
You
have to remember that, especially until we see at the end of the episode, like captains are transferring every episode. So if you take a shot, you need to make sure you don't miss because you're only captain for this week. You're only protected for this week. I mean, granted, you could win the daily the next week and then you're fine. But if the rotation kept going the same, you're not captain for another 3 dailies. So you're vulnerable. And so it's just like, it is such a risky time to take a shot. Yeah, it's just interesting. I think that he should just keep that on his mind. You shouldn't retaliate almost immediately. You should kind of like play it cool and be like, no, I get it. It's whatever. It's part of the game. Confessional immediately. I'm going to screw them over in 2 weeks. Like I'm letting it brew. They're not going to see it coming. I'm going to initiate myself back in with them. I'm going to be cool. And then I'm going to spend over the next couple of weeks gathering the votes and the resources to go back at them. Like if Leo wants to get Chris out, he needs to just do it. If he wants to get Sydney out, he needs to just do it. Instead of saying, well, yeah, but they're really good on it. Just do it. Do it. Because if they're really good and you're at the bottom of their list, you won't be here for the final if you keep them around. You have to kind of attack the people that aren't going to look out for you.
100%. And this is why I disagree with you. I think he's 100% right to go on his revenge tour. Like you said, it takes a while before you can come around and be a captain again. You have to take the shots as they come up. So Chris and Sydney already showed that you're not with their team. This is funny because in this season, your team is the only people who you can succeed with, but you're constantly fighting the mini alliances within your team.
And yes, I mean, there's a lot of inner team turmoil happening as well. I think I agree. You should take your shot back. I would just say, I don't know if he had to do it right away, but if that's something you want to do, you just got to commit to it. And I think he should have strong-armed Cassidy into putting Sydney in. Like he should have just done it and just like shown that like, hey, I'm going to take a shot at you and you're not as like, because like Sydney and Chris right now, if I was them, they probably feel untouchable by their own team.
100%. And I agree that listen, I do believe that he should 100% take his shots, but he didn't really do that here. Like Nurys would have been, I know she burned you, and so you burned her back, but that's not really helping you none. turning Nurys over to your side probably would have been easier than trying to get Sydney. So I think he just played it wrong, and it didn't really work out in his favor. But I'm totally okay with him taking the shots and going after them directly. I do want to go ahead and move on to today's daily. Today's daily was called Infiltration Dive. It's a time-spending cop that includes some puzzle building. Team Orange gets the W, Blue gets the L. How would you grade today's daily on 5 stars?
It was good. It was decent. It seemed rather quickish, to be honest. But I do like that it was like a 3-stage. Get out to the platform, get under, grab your piece, go under the water, get to the other end, get back to shore. So that wasn't just walk across a bridge. It wasn't answer a question about a person by saying yes or no. They actually had to do something. So I think so far this is our best daily. I think it looks really good coming off a boat swap. Yeah, and I mean, the only problem is that something is so... It sucks that like these things can really hinder a team if you got a bad swimmer or somebody that's afraid to go underwater. But then again, they only had to go like 3 meters below the surface to get some of their stuff. Which is 10 feet. It's still a lot, but it's like, if we saw Kara and like going, how do you dive? I don't know how to answer that question, except for you just put your head under the water and then you just start kicking, pointing down. Like swimming is just, that's all it is. Just propelling yourself in a direction. I don't understand how you couldn't get it.
That dive she did was absolutely terrible. I thought today's daily was actually great. I thought it looked great. I thought it was a great swimming one. And, it's endurance, it's swimming, it's a little bit of puzzle building. A lot of it was teamwork. And the second I seen the pool, I was just like, oh, this is going to be bad for Blue. Yeah. Because Kara is a notoriously bad swimmer and Nelson is handicapped, right? Was that
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Yeah,
that's on. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, it is. It is.
And he's handicapped.
Yeah. And I mean, him having only one leg, I mean, swimming is majority of legs. It is probably 80% legs. And so he's already disadvantaged there. And here's the thing. He got into that air bubble. The problem is if you sit in that air bubble too long, you can panic real quick. And that's what we saw happen. And he had to get back. Like he had it. If he just would have stopped, breath, and then go, he would have been fine. But
also, the later you go, the less oxygen is in there. When people are in there, they're breathing heavily. So they're taking up all of that oxygen, spitting out carbon dioxide. So even when you go later on, you're not getting a lot of oxygen going in anyway. So yeah, that panic, but also just bad performances all across the board. Lenny had a live. She was talking about it. They were just doing bad anyway. Like, even if it wasn't for all that, they still would have lost. It's terrible to see, but good daily. Definitely the best daily that we had so far. I do want to talk about Nurys, though. Nurys, she finds herself at the bottom of the totem pole in today's nominations, having just previously burned Leo in voting last week and not being high enough on the Chris City team to really get any help. Leo and Cassidy put up Adrian, and Nurys is almost unanimously voted in. I did love the fact that Corey was just like, even though there's no need to say anybody else's name, I'm going to prove to you that I still got your back, and I'm just not going to say that. It was purely symbolic, and I absolutely loved it, because I've gotten on people in the past about saying, like, why are you standing on ceremony here just to make another enemy or line yourself up for the next elimination when you don't have to? I think we saw that a lot of free agents, too. It's like, hey, if everybody's saying your name, just go ahead and say their name, too. There's no point in it. So I don't think this is going to even really hurt Corey in the long run. I think Corey is also on the outs of that Sydney and Chris alliance. Now, Nurys, I did love the fact that she completely unloaded on Sydney. Sydney, it looks like she's going to be pretty good at the challenge. I do not like her at all. So I thought everything that Nurys said about Sydney was pretty spot on. And then she digs into Keanu. And granted, Keanu didn't get that bad, but, I don't think she was really wrong there. I was surprised she didn't unload on Chris, and I think I know why. I think she still wants to be aligned with Chris. I think she recognized Chris is probably her best chance to get to a final, doesn't want to piss him off. But she had all of the smoke for Sydney. But even more on top of that, and I do like, Nurys is one of my favorite new people on this show. I do think this is all her fault.
Yes, thank you. Nurys has terrible social game. I'm going to say right now, her social game is such a disaster. She got second place on Battle for a New Champion.
Well, she showed out.
Because she had to take out her own alliance because she was on the bottom of the totem pole. She got out with the people she was in with. And then she comes back on 40. She's still not in with them. So she goes out early and now she's back here. And the problem that we have here, and I don't like Nurys like calling out Keanu. You don't like sit there and ask somebody to like help you out in a vote when you're at the most desperate need. You talk to them when you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to gain. And it's like, hey, I see Chris, I see Cassidy, I see Sydney. That's 3 Survivor. Adrian just played with Sydney as well. So they're probably close. And she's probably close to Leo. So like, that's maybe 5. Keanu, Corey, me. Us 3 should vote together. And all we got to do is just wait for a crack. And then we saw a crack. And that's when you can be like, let's go 3-3. And Leo's going to put in Sydney because that's his choice. He gets to do it.
There was such a obvious game plan here, and I was kind of pissed at like, man, you guys just all missed it. And I think a lot of that is on Nurys' fault because I think she kind of still wants to be aligned with Chris and Sydney.
If last week Corey and Nurys directly put in Chris, the team votes Keanu. I mean, sure, maybe
Chris is going in,
but still, he's not losing to Brad though. He would have won that still.
Yeah.
But my point is that now what you've done is you've shown Leo your loyalty. You showed Keanu that you want to keep him. Next time you have to vote when they're not, you're not captain, you're going to go 3-3. Leo's going to put in Sydney because Sydney just voted in Leo. Like it is going to happen. And if Nurys played a more strategic game, a more social game, she wouldn't have went into elimination and maybe Chris and Sydney going back-to-back eliminations.
You are 100% right. And when it's all said and done is how she played the game. You were 100% right when you said it's because of her social game. Your social game got you almost unanimously voted in.
Yeah, and what it should have been too if you were also smart on top of that. You're like, Keanu, if you put in Sydney, I can convince Will to put in Cara. And we're getting rid of a strong girl and I can save Anna Leigh. You're number 1. Like that's another angle and nobody even tried it. I can guarantee Letty goes in and puts against, and could you imagine Letty versus Sydney? Like what? Orange would love that. Orange would love that.
You know what? I like Deb too, but Letty is really starting to grow on me too, especially since I've seen her like TikTok lives and videos. Really starting to grow on me. I'm really starting to like her. But sticking with Nurys a little bit, Nurys, of course, finds herself easily voted into elimination. It's going to be her versus Anna Leigh. And Anna Leigh's a little bit more small. She's a little bit shorter than Nurys, but she's also kind of stocked up too. I didn't see this elimination going the way it did. I was very surprised that Anna Leigh really mopped the floor with Nurys.
I thought it was going to be one of those ones where Anna Leigh gets an advantage early because she's stronger, but then it was like, it's a puzzle and like Nurys will be behind by like 1 or 2. And they'll be at the puzzle at the same time. I didn't expect Nurys to struggle so much. I don't know if they must have been told that they can only use their arms because like your legs are stronger than your arms. In my mind right away, I go onto the top bar and I step onto the bottom bar and I just start stepping on them to knock them all out. And then once you break the bottom piece and you pull it out, then the next piece above it will be easier because it's damaged. So then you can break that piece out. Instead, they were trying to break the top and break it down one at a time. The problem is get the bottom one first, let gravity start to show the brakes and everything, and it will crack easier going up. Yeah, they didn't think about that. And Anna Leigh just ran circles around her. I hated the fact that, Sydney was over there in confessional saying like everybody believes Nurys is going to be the weakest link. And they don't look wrong when you see a performance like this. I do think that Nurys just isn't as strong. I think a lot of her abilities are going to be able to showcase her conditioning, her stamina, racing, puzzling, that kind of stuff. This was a little bit more raw strength, and she just really came up short. I don't think she should have came up as short as she did. She looked like she got tired, looked like she was weak and just overly confused. The good thing about it is it doesn't look like she gave up. She was she had good sportsmanship about it. So I really like that. I hate that we're losing Nurys this early. Kind of, and it just kind of sucks. Really wasn't seeing that going the way that it did. That is 3 of the 4 eliminations have knocked out a former finalist. Yeah, and then a rookie. So we're seeing people kind of get knocked out left and right that you're not like, if you go into it, like I wouldn't have expected that. I would have thought, I don't know, Adrian would go in or Cassidy would go in before Nurys on their team, just based on just where I think they would lie socially. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. Nurys's frame doesn't really bode well for her to like how do you fix your game? Okay, well, she got to get stronger. but she's so small that I don't know if she could handle, if you added like 15 pounds of muscle on her, 20 pounds of muscle. I don't know if she could balance that. I don't know if physically she'd want to do that. I think that she likes her, Instagram frame. So yeah, but that's like the biggest hole in her game is that she needs to find a way to connect early socially with people that just, you don't know, people that look like they don't have a home. Like everybody used, and I hate talking about people that aren't on the show and everything, but like Leroy would be really good at that. Leroy would always be like, yeah, we're just boys. Let's be cool. Like you're a new person on the show. Like, you don't always seem like that. He's like, I know I have my vet over here. I'm gonna be cool with the new guy. Why not? Because then the new guy's going to like me. Wes was always notorious.
Wes was great for that.
But like, and that's a thing where you need to see like, okay, Keanu has nobody on his team. He's the only rookie. I'm gonna have his back. I'm gonna tell him I have his back until I can't. If I have to cut him, who cares? He's a rookie. Like he's not gonna, But and then she's got to somehow work on the strength thing because it has now hindered her in 2 straight eliminations on Battle of the Eras and now here on Cutthroat 2, where the physical aspect because she only got 10 of them out. She didn't even get all 15 of them out.
I know, and I didn't love the fact that it was just like, hey, take a break and work on the puzzle and not pull these out. While you're working on the puzzle, you still got to pull these out. Might as well get them out now. But that's just what I think. TJ does change it up a little bit towards the end. He says, we'll decide on captains during the next daily, but your next captains are going to be your permanent captains.
We knew this was coming, though. We knew it was coming because yes, they talked about in the preview that one person's going to decide if they're going to keep all the money or if you're going to share it as a team. They talked about that. I think it's because everybody, potentially, because there's 4 rounds, everybody got to be a captain once. So you can kind of see who you trust as a captain. And now when you vote, you're like, okay, when they were captain, this is how their mindset was. This is what their thought was. Like, I don't know.
Who do you think the captains are going to be?
Depends on how they vote. Like if they tell them, all right, you're going to vote anonymously and you cannot vote for yourself. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just vote for yourself?
They're not going to do that. They're going to say, jump in a little circle and figure it out amongst yourself. Because that's going to make for better TV.
I think they should let them. I think they should let them deliberate, and then everybody kind of comes to an agreement, and then they go vote anonymously. Because then we get the confessional going, I'm not doing that. Like, here's the thing. I think the problem they're going to have is I think if you vote a captain, that captain might be safe. But then again, what if the captain gets elimination? Do they get to pick who's the new captain, right? So there's 2 thought processes. Do I pick somebody that I think if we lose, they go into elimination, they'll give it back to me? Or do I pick somebody that I trust 100%? And can you trust somebody 100%?
I think you got to go with trust.
But can you trust, like, if you give
Cutthroat.
If you give it to Josh, do you trust him 100%? Like, like, can you? But did nobody trust Kara? Like, who on blue are they? They're going to pick Nelson, probably.
Yes, Nelson is a safe pick, even though I think the pick for blue should be Kara, the pick for gray should be Chris, and the pick for orange should be Bananas.
But nobody's going to pick Bananas. There's no way these guys...
So most likely CT.
But that's the thing, though. Like, do you pick CT thinking, like, man, we're going to let him, like, what if captains are immune and they never have to go into elimination? And now you're going to let CT coast?
Captains will only be immune if they win. If you lose, everybody's going to be on the chopping block.
Potentially, yeah. But I think the voting's going to change. Like the voting's going to change. Everything's going to change because now that you have one captain, it's, you know what I mean? Like it's going to change everything.
You know what? It's a twist that I don't think is going to suck.
If I'm orange, I'm voting for Michelle as my captain.
That would be a good choice.
Somebody I think I can trust, somebody that I think physically can do a lot of things, somebody that I believe will have the team's best interest in mind. And you have to remember, she's good with CT, she's good with Tori. Who else on the orange team? She's good with Will, she's good with Justin, she's good with Izzy.
Orange team is so freaking stacked. How did they let this happen? I mean, I'm so glad that it's because I nuked my Twitter earlier this year, that I don't know who wins. And it is just so obvious what team is going to win this season.
Potentially, but you have to remember, Gauntlet 3, the vets are clearly going to win. They won 11 of the 13 dailies, whatever. And then, you know,
some people from that season is on this team. They know.
I'm just saying, but now we have a world where like Rachel and Johanna from Real World Austin are challenge champions, like, and they shouldn't be, So it's just, you never know what's going to happen. And I think, I think if I'm somebody on voting, I'm voting for Michelle. They're going to vote for Chris, but I would vote for Corey. And then for the blue side, gosh, man, I
You know
might.
what? I take that back. Cara and Nelly aren't the obvious choices here. They had to, if they wanted to lead, everybody would have been willing to let them. They have not wanted to.
So here, let's break this down real quick. So we can kind of think who's gonna vote for who. So like on the blue team, right? I don't think Anna Leigh, I don't think Chris or Josh, I mean, and then Cara can't.
So that's Letty and Nelson. No.
Did I freeze? Okay, I'm back.
You froze for a second, just run it back.
Oh God! All right, but my point is that like that's 3 people because Cara can't vote for herself, so she can't get it. Then we look at Chris. Okay, well he can't vote for himself, and Cara's not going to vote for him. Okay, so he has to get the other 3, and then so like I honestly think it's gonna like Anna Leigh. She could because she's just coming off an elimination win. Cara might go. You know what? You want it, you can have it. Like you can have the captain.
That sounds like something Cara would do.
Yeah. Like, you know what? You've been playing really well. You can have it. Or Cara will probably vote for Letty if she doesn't vote for Nelson. That's who it's probably going to come down to Letty and Nelson.
I can see that.
I mean,
now,
yeah.
before we get out of here, what does your power ranking look like? Does almost cheating on your husband get you a nice little boost?
Oh man, she's there.
I'm not letting that shit go.
Dude,
not
she's
letting that
there.
shit go at all. Dude, damn it!
No, here's the thing. You got to remember, she got a lot of screen time. And when this was all happening and then her confessional, and then she goes into elimination, I was like, she's probably going home, right? That's why they highlighted her in this episode. Because like, when else are you going to get to highlight this? And then I remembered, oh wait, last episode was when they highlighted Nurys. They're tricking us. It was an episode early and they got us, you know?
They catch
so at 5, I have a tie. Because Anna Leigh won that elimination. She said that she's been dominating and playing really well in these dailies. She's holding up strong outside of the second daily. And she wants to prove herself too. And then on top of that, though, you have to remember, granted how, you know, it is, she has a connection with somebody on Gray. And 2 people on Gray. Like Keanu and Leo will not say her name. And I think that is a very strong thing to have when you're talking about alliances across teams. When 2 of the 4 guys won't say your name, that's a positive. So it's a 50% chance if Gray wins, she's probably safe. And she's going to be tied with Sydney though. Because Sydney kind of got her way. You know, somebody she was against now, Nurys, is gone. She still has a strong alliance. She's probably going to be in the favor of maybe even getting captaincy for her team as well. Number 4, we have Letty. Great performance in the daily, outswam everybody, the first person to get across for her team and dominated. And she's also very protected from bananas. And I think everybody on blue also wants to keep her around because she's physically strong. And I think, I mean, obviously, even Will said, we're not going to throw in bananas. Like, bananas didn't have the voice. And Izzy and Will also protected somebody that bananas wanted to get protected. So I think that is going to hold really strong for her. Number 3 takes a slight tumble. This is Chris. For me, Chris is holding strong because he performed well. He didn't get yelled at, didn't get chewed at. He didn't really, he didn't lose a number. If anything, like they have the numbers that shows. And I think we're going to the vote. He also is really eligible to be captain as well. And I think he's just in a really good spot. Number 2 is going to surprise you. This person really jumped up from 5 last week. This is Corey. The reason why is like Corey lost Nurys, right? But he proactively was talking to Adrian going, if I lose Nurys, I don't have a number 1 girl. And then she goes, well, after Leo, I don't really have a number 1 guy. And he's like, so I'll be your number 2. And then if I lose Nurys, you can be my number 1. So he like gained an alliance ahead of time before he even needed it. What we were saying Nurys should do.
And she's kind of a beast. So that's not like the most terrible number you can add.
I think it puts him in a spot where like now he's above Chris and Keanu on that team for Adrian, where that's where I'm saying like Leo and Adrian, they might vote for Corey to be captain. And if Corey can convince Keanu, he might also be captain too. You know, like I think he could get it. And I just think he's in a really good spot. Even losing an alliance member, he lost an alliance member that was targeted by everybody. Yeah. By losing that, it takes eyes away. Because if she stays another round, everybody goes, well, Corey's attached to Nurys, so we got to break that up and get them out of here. Now,
I also don't think that anybody's really targeting Corey. Corey's not on anybody's shit list. Nobody's looking at him as a huge threat. I mean, he really should utilize this as much as possible to build as strong of a base as possible. So when names start getting bored up, he can keep himself safe.
Yeah. And number 1's bananas. He stays at number 1. I mean, his team won. Potentially the girl that he's kind of has interest in right now could have went in, but because of his social influence, he kept her in. And I just think that he's, after the first episode where he has so many eyes on him and he has to go into elimination, he's getting all these votes. And it seems like he's just fading into the background. Which
he's going to coast. If he's smart, that's exactly what he'll do.
historically, that's when Bananas does his best. Like there's like only like one season that he does really well that he wasn't in the limelight the whole time, or was in the limelight, and then he had to go into eliminations. That was Free Agents. But otherwise, yeah, I think he's in a really good spot. So that's where we're kind of sitting. Before we leave, off the top of your head, don't even hesitate. Don't, whatever. Give me your 3 captains. Who's getting voted for captain from each team? Rattle off the top of your head.
Chris, Nelson, and I want to say CT, but I think Michelle might actually get it for Orange.
I could see Tori as well.
Tori makes sense too.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, and I think, I think, yeah, Blue's gonna be the most interesting because like none of them are captains, and Orange is interesting because I could see almost everybody outside of Deb and Izzy being captains. Like the other 6, I could be like, yeah, I could see being captain.
Also for Blue, it's not completely out of my mind that like Anna Leigh might be able to secure that spot too, because cheat on your man to get ahead. That's how it works. So disgusted. But moving on from that, can we get a round of applause for my good boy here? He didn't make a single sound. He'd just be chilling.
Can I ask one question though before we go back? Because I think this is a stigma and a standard that we have to break as men, and especially viewers of the challenge. Were you disgusted when Tony was doing what he was doing?
100%. Tony was a piece of shit the whole time.
Good. I'm just saying.
Nobody was happy. First of all cheating is bad. Even when Cora Maria was on Bloodlines and she supposedly had a good reason, you're still not supposed to cheat. Even though I think everybody widely accepted she was doing something to make sure she didn't have to go back to a certain kind of situation. Nobody's going to be happy with cheating. And me specifically, I don't like any kind of cheating. I don't even hang out with people who cheat. Cause like, if you do your own significant other like this, how would you do me? You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And I don't cheat at all. As you can see, I'm an African-American male and black men don't cheat. I don't know, something in our DNA. It just doesn't work. We just don't do it ever.
That's, and on that note,
we just don't cheat. At all.
I do think also, I'm also, we didn't talk about this. I am, in the beginning, people ask who we are. Just so you guys want to know, if you're still hanging around with us, I am spoiler free. I am 100% spoiler free. Malik is now spoiler free after a former incident that happened back on 35.
Oh my God, they were so mad. See, what happened is when I joined Challenge Twitter, I've learned very quickly that the spoilers are out and everybody talks about it. I hated it. But I also understood that as I became a bigger figure on Challenge Twitter, you just have to kind of accept it as it goes. So we're talking about something and I spoil it and people got really, really mad at me. Oh my God, how could you? I was like, you guys didn't know? Like, you're on Twitter. It didn't make sense to me that how are you going to be on Challenge Twitter and not get spoiled? I somehow made it to, and mind you, I'm 4 episodes in. I still believe that I'm going to get spoiled before this season is done. But I am really, really enjoying the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when people are going home. I don't know who wins. And it's actually pretty nice. So if you see me out there, please don't spoil it for me.
I'm pretty happy that I haven't seen anything yet either, and that's what I want to keep it. So if you're in our community and everything talking about it, that's a big thing. Don't post spoilers. If people want spoilers, instead of you bringing it to them, let them go find it. There are very easy ways for them to find it. There are Facebook groups that are literally about spoilers. There's a Facebook group out there that they say, we love the show so much, we want to know what happens before we watch it. We don't want to enjoy the show. You can join those groups. That's fine. But if you're like us and you want to enjoy what's in front of you and then find out what happens, then let's keep it spoiler free here.
That was so fucking passive aggressive.
I'm just saying, I couldn't imagine knowing what's going to happen every week of the NFL season and being like, I'm going to sit down for 3 hours and watch it. I'd be like,
suck.
Yeah.
That would suck so bad.
I would hate walking into Avengers Doomsday and just going, well, this is going to happen at the end. Let me predict, but I don't want to know.
Speaking of the movies, man, I just went to go see The Odyssey. Fucking cinema. Absolutely great.
It was good?
It was great. I'm telling you, Tom Holland and Zendaya is having a hell of a year. Zendaya was in Spider-Man. She's going to be in Dune. We could probably say she's probably going to be in Doomsday and season 3 of Euphoria. Tom Holland.
I don't think she'll be in Doomsday.
It's possible.
But
at least a small cameo.
She had another movie with Robert Pattinson as well.
Yes, it's on HBO. I've been meaning to see it. It was called like,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I do want to see it.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's not a bad year either because he was in the Odyssey too, and that movie was Zendaya.
He's getting looked at as, and also he's gonna be Chris Hansen in To Catch a Predator.
It looks good. It looks good. Super excited. I got to take the wife out on a movie date, and you know what? She really loved it. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of reverse. I like the character driven, good cinematography. I mean, I'm very much into movies. She's just like, put on a Michael Bay movie where stuff blows up every 5 minutes. That's what she wants to watch.
That's fair.
So I took her to the Odyssey. I was just like, ooh, this might be the best of both worlds. You get the action you're looking for. I get the deep dive into a classic story like the Odyssey, which I own 2 copies of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm super big into like Greek mythology and stuff like that too. So she actually, and we went late too. So we went at like 10 o'clock. So it was like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
She stayed up the whole time. We ordered $110 in theater food. I was sick the next day, but it was fun.
Dude,
we had a
wild,
great time. It was a great time. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. Listen to Love War Challenges podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love War Challenges. Peace.
I